Hello, hello, and welcome to Workspace Spark. Again, we are bringing you the best of the best. Today we have Keirsten Greggs, and she will be coming to us, talking to us about our resumes and remixing our resumes. I have, been in the workforce a long time, and that's the one thing that I never can get. I feel like I never get right is my resume. Really putting out there all my talents and skills, right? And putting out in the best light because that's the first thing people see you. So we were so excited when you agreed to be on today. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I'm going to read your bio and then we'll ask you to tell us a little about yourself. So, Keirsten is the founder and CEO of Trap Recruiter LLC, a recruiting consulting and career coaching firm with over 20 years of experience in talent acquisition. She's passionate about helping organizations implement creative recruiting strategies to attract, select, and retain historically excluded top talent. She does this through full lifecycle recruiting, recruiting process optimization, facilitating workshops, hosting training sessions and webinars, helping job seekers find their voice in the hiring process, and more. She has been featured as an expert in ERE in her site, Diversity Jobs, Hire EZ, Talview, Tech Target, BBC World Service Radio, BNC, Forbes, Madame Noir, Fast Company, Fairy Godmoms, and Sirius XM Urban View. Woo, look at that resume. I love it.
I didn't realize I had put all of that in there because I was like,
no, we need to let the people know who we are putting on and who.
It's hard to pick who to highlight sometimes though. So
we need to let the people know because it's important, right? The people that are subscribers, they are here for practical information, and we want to make sure that we're letting them know what experts we're bringing. So I read your formal bio, but if you can tell us a little about yourself, would be awesome.
Hi, everyone. First and foremost, thank you, Vanessa, for inviting me. I'm very excited to be here today to share a little insight and a bit of my expertise regarding resume remixing. As Vanessa said, I am the founder and CEO of Trap Recruiter LLC. I have been in talent acquisition / recruiting since the year 2000 and have pretty much held every job possible in talent acquisition inside of companies and now outside on my own, which is why I'm a consultant. So let's get started.
Awesome. So tell me, what made you create Trap Recruiter?
So I got laid off and I was at that point doing some contract work just because of how large my network is. And it was a way to, get money in my pocket, filling jobs, working in the recruiter role or putting my recruiter hat on. And then as I was starting to, gain more momentum, the asks that my former colleagues or that other people were coming to me with, having had exposure to my work in the past, made me decide that, I really should be charging for some of these things. I really should be doing this for myself. And I remember the name Trap, everyone always wants to know what that's about. And it's a two-pronged story. So first and foremost, it is the letters are an acronym for the principles I stand by as it relates to what talent acquisition professionals should be doing. They should be building trust, building relationships. They should always be accountable, and they should be taking a proactive approach. But it also ties to my love for trap music. and the t-shirt that one of my good girlfriends gave me that says, I love God and trap music. And then a conversation I was having with another good friend who said, we were doing one of those Facebook games. And the question was, if you were famous, what would you be known for? And his response was trap recruiting. And I was like, that's it. And it took off from there.
Mm-hmm. Love it. And of course, knowing the acronym where it stands from and understanding that trust is super important for people in your space. So what do you think the biggest reason people call you for services? So when people are thinking about what Trap Recruiter stands for or what career coaches do, what are the biggest things that people reach out to you for?
So because I have two sides of my business, it depends on the person. the job seeker for this conversation is usually reaching out to me for job search assistance. A lot of them perhaps come to me to say, hi, can you redo my resume? And that's where we have the, come back in conversation. And I explain that I don't write resumes, but I do remix resumes, and I help you and I guide you through owning your resume in and of itself. And for anyone who only wants resume help, I usually refer them to some of the amazing resume writers who that is their specialty and their expertise. I refer them over, and then I deal with the folks who want a little bit more comprehensive assistance.
Awesome. When you think about resume writing and things, I didn't think that was two sides of the coin, but it definitely is, because you have someone like myself going back. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for a little while now, going back into the workforce. How does that translate? And remixing my resume and not needing a full overhaul. So I think that's awesome. Do you think resumes are still important?
Yes, but I think that we need to reduce the level of emphasis that we put on them, in the sense that they are not the only tool that should be in your toolbox. Yes, you need a resume for applying to jobs, because especially now in this digital world where people think that computers are the only people that are reading your resume, you apply for a job or you upload it to one of the career sites, and it's parsing your resume, taking out the words, filling in things, and then you a lot of times have to go back in and clean things up. So you need a resume to apply for a job. The other utility of a resume is that it's really you capturing and tracking and keeping your accomplishments fresh, because we forget about a lot of things that we do. Like, you just were reading my bio, and I was like, who's she talking about? That's cute. I was like, I did all that. Wow. And I think we forget. And when we come in and it's time to start doing our resumes, we're trying to recount the past, however long it's been since the last time, 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years. And that's a lot of information to try and capture, in that short span of time, for you to, like I said, want to go and hit send and hit apply for a position. So yes, they're important because they are a part of your job search. But I think that we've gotten to the point where we can accept and understand that while they are important, they're not the only thing that you need to get a job.
Awesome. Telling my age, being in the workforce for so long, back in the day, resume was like the it thing, right? And now understanding that there are other options and other things that support it, I think is super important. So let's talk about resume though. Why does the font design and formatting of the resume matter? Or does it?
It does. Because, and I'm going to tell you this again, there's always two sides to it, and me being on both sides. It's not just having been a job seeker, but actually being part of the hiring life cycle as the recruiter, who is the first point of contact to see your resume. And we get a lot, especially if you're in a high volume industry or a high volume career field. We're seeing a lot, and recruiters are looking at your resume the first time for a maximum of about 6 seconds. Like, we're doing a quick scan and we're trying to see if if we're going to put you in the move to review more in depth, or pass and move to the next resume box. Or maybe not even come back to it. So it is important that your resume is organized in a way that allows us to pinpoint and see those things. Like, we're looking out for your job title. We're looking out to see, if there are requirements for a certification, or if there's a requirement for a certain level of education or training. We're trying to pinpoint that. There's not so much emphasis these days, if you're working in an office type environment, for where you live anymore or where you're located anymore, because a lot of jobs do allow for remote work if, again, you're working in a field that is in an office environment. So there's parts of it that we want to pinpoint, and we want to look and see what companies you were. Did you work for our competitors? Do you currently work the organization that we are. Did you recently leave? Like there's things like that. So yeah, the way that it's organized absolutely matters, because the harder it is for my eyes to read it, the less likelihood it is that I'm going to pay a lot of attention to it.
Okay, so that's some good tips, everyone. Hope that you're writing some notes, right? What is it? So I use the term achievement statement, but it could
Yes.
be something in the space. So what is an achievement message, a statement message, and why is it important?
An achievement statement is a part of your description in your resume. So it's the body of your resume, and it's really highlighting what your accomplishments are. It's the things that you're quantifying. It's those things that are measurable. How did you save money? How did you improve efficiency? How did you improve um, a product, a service? What was your contribution to this role? What are you bringing? So that's what the achievement statement is. And yes, it is very important to have those things on your resume, because like I said, we're looking at if we're looking at a resume very quickly, and let's say we're looking at it's a sales job, we're going to be looking at, like things that say like 500 million are going to catch our eyes. Things that say improved X% are going to catch our eye. Return on investment, and things like that are going to catch our eye a bit more. And if you have those on your resume written in a way that again shows your value and how you accomplished, that's a plus up for us. I mean, for you, excuse me.
Love it. So we talked about formatting and an achievement statement, which I had not heard that term before.
Oh, okay.
Search. Um, what other key elements of your resume are important?
I do think that the body of the resume, so that meat part, the where it's not so much where you work for ABC company, DEF company, and that it's what you're describing in those things, because the body of the resume ties every other part together. Like, yes, we see your name, we might see your heading title. A lot of folks are utilizing the heading and title so that again we can pinpoint right away if I'm looking for a cybersecurity engineer and you're a network administrator, or well, that wasn't a good example. But you get my point. Like, if I'm looking for a cybersecurity engineer and you're an accountant, not, and there's nothing that says forensic accountant or anything like that, I'm probably I'm probably going to pass on your resume. So that heading becomes important. And then a lot of folks are putting their skills summary in there. So, those are things that you're going to be talking about. If you have experience in certain software, if you have experience with certain programs and things like those are going to be in the skill summary. And, we're looking for that in your body because it's tying that through your education, like how you're applying that MBA in your roles, your volunteer work, your community involvement, all of those things. While you might be listing them in other parts of your resume, they're brought together in your descriptions of describing what the role was.
Okay, you just said something I haven't heard before. So
What's that?
achievement statement and then skill summary. Can we talk
Yes.
a little bit about skill summary?
So it's more of like a lot of people put wherever they're putting it on their resume, they list the things that they have an expertise in. For example, a software engineer will tell you what languages they're most familiar with. An accountant may tell you again what softwares they're using, Excel, Tableau, other things like that. A project manager, same thing. So it's saying like it's saying what skills you have an expertise in.
Got it. Okay, great. I hadn't heard those two differences. I assume they would be the same, but
Well, the the achievement statement is a part of the body. It's a part of your description, but that's a description of your accomplishment.
yes, totally did not think about those differences. So thank you for that. Now,
Anytime.
let's say someone wants to move into an industry that they don't have as much experience in. So they do have some skill sets in that. What is a good way for them to show that capability?
It's what you just said. It's their transferable skills. to move across the industry. I'm a recruiter, but I started in the defense and intel, corporate wise. I started in the defense and intelligence arena. So I have to be able to show how someone coming from my background can work in a different industry, like like healthcare, or like maybe a high volume staffing environment where I have that experience. I have to be able to show that. And showing those transferable skills, regardless of whether you've already been inside of the organization, or excuse me, inside of the industry, is what is going to again, is going to help you and help your resume to stand out.
Okay. You did mention volunteer work before. So this is a personal question. I hope that you
Okay.
all do this too, but does it matter? Do companies care about your volunteer work?
I think yes. Well, I shouldn't say I think. Yes, they do. The companies that you want to work for do. The companies that are community focused are the best ones. Those are the top tier companies right now, the ones that are paying attention to not only their employees, but the community in which they're housed, the communities that they're involved in, the communities that they impact, their customers, their potential clients. It's very important. And a lot of us, work in jobs for whatever reason. We have a job, and that job may not be our passion. That job may not be our career. So, what we do every day isn't necessarily, where we're not necessarily using all of our skills in our day-to-day jobs. So, you might be the president of an organization, you might be the finance manager, you might have developed things, you might be doing, building websites and, doing marketing content, but that's not your job, but that's what you do in an organization. And again, those are other transferable skills. And I love to use this example because I know multiple people who, when they were in between jobs, did volunteer work that turned into a full-time job. Like organizations created a role for them because of their impact and because of the value that they brought to the org.
Awesome. Yes. I mean, I volunteer a lot, and so never knew if that really mattered. But I guess
yes.
it does. If you're thinking about hiring someone into your company, it's also important to know what else they're doing outside of work, and are they giving back, and let you kind of know what kind of person it is. So again, I truly agree with that. So now people are job searching, right? It's the beginning of the year. You're deciding, it's time for me to leave this job. What do you think are essential tools to starting your job search?
The biggest tool that should be in your job search toolbox. I have to say that slowly so I don't. I can't even say the name of my live chat. So I have to take my time, not get tongue-tied. The essential tool is networking. Networking is, again, another one of those threads that runs through the entire gamut. You have to plan, you have to research. Like, your job search is important. It's in and of itself a job. Finding a job is a job. So you have to plan, you have to research, pinpoint those organizations or target organizations that you're interested in, target roles, look at how other organizations are describing and defining those jobs. And then that's what you take for yourself and say, how can I, remix my resume to be more aligned with that? I think a lot of times, we see a job description and we think we have to just like copy and paste it or something like that. Or we see a job description and it has, 9 must-haves, which is honestly too many. And and depending on, who you are, you may have, you may be turned away, or you may turn yourself away. You may self-select out because you're like, well, I don't check all of these boxes, but at the end of the day, you do. You may not one for one, but you never want to go into a job that you do check all the boxes because there's no room for growth there. So if you're only looking at jobs where you check every box, you might need to level up to the next thing, or level across, or go somewhere else. And I do think that the planning, the research, the networking, having that support system, connecting to people in companies, connecting to recruiters, connecting to your former colleagues, or your friends in the community, reading things, just posting on your LinkedIn every once in a while, or even just clicking like on something someone else posted. Like, that's engagement, that's keeping you top of mind. That's, kind of tricking the algorithms in some way, so that people say, oh, I'm here. And then making it known that you're looking for a job. That was biggest the biggest mistake that I made. And I'm a recruiter. So like, I lost my, when I was laid off in 2016, I had a large network. I had people that I reached out to, but I wasn't advertising that I needed a job. Like, I was applying selectively because of the level, that I was, and I knew what kind of job I wanted. So, I would be applying for jobs, and I would be doing things, but I wasn't making it known to the people that could help me, or even the people who knew people who could help me, that I was looking. And that didn't really click with me until much later on, even after someone reached out and asked me to come and speak to a group of job seekers. They said, hey, my speaker had to go overseas for work. I love the stuff that you do. I watch your posts on LinkedIn. I see X, Y, and Z. I love what you have to say. Can you come talk to the job seekers? And I was like, uh-oh, you're a fraud. Like, they're going to know. And I told this person, I said, are you sure that you want to put me out there in front of your audience? Because, I'm not working. And he was like, you're not working, he's like, I would have never known. And it was like, absolutely. Of course, I want you to come speak to them. Now I want you to come speak to them even more. So you have to make it known that you're looking. I think a lot of us, once we are on the job search for a reason other than we decided to be, and we may not be looking, that sometimes our confidence is a little bit lower. And, we need that spark to say, let's come in, get it together. And again, reaching out to people, networking with people is that tool that once you master that, your job search is going to be a lot easier.
Yes. Okay. So I have to say this,
Yes.
a little off subject, but that imposter syndrome is real, right? Like,
Mhm.
someone asking you to come speak to people that you have knowledge about. You've been doing it for over 20 years. You teach people, you're consultant, you did the job, but just because we were in the position at that moment, you think you're not worthy. And I just think that as we talk about recruiting and job careers and career growth, that confidence and reminding ourselves of who we are and all the work we've done, right? You mentioned earlier about forgetting about all your accomplishments. So I challenge those who are listening to write down a list or have a notebook of your accomplishments so that you can go back and remind yourself, especially when you're starting to do your job search, so you can remind the people who are interviewing you just how great you are. But I think that confidence thing is really, really key.
Yeah, no, your resume is a working document. And what I mean by that is, like, you should always be updating it. You should always be enhancing it, either removing things, adding new things, it's not the end all be all, but it's also not a complete history. It should really be a highlight reel. I like to call it the trailer to the movie, like, give me give me those things that are going to make me want to call you in for an interview. Give me those things that are going to make me want to watch the movie. Get me excited about it. You don't have to give it all away up front. You definitely don't want to. So that's why I like to describe it as more of a highlight reel than like a full-on 4-hour documentary.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for being here. Do you have any last words for our subscribers? Any last tips you want to give?
Yes. So I'm wearing my theme for the year. No, no, no means next opportunity. And I encourage you, it's a sales, it's a sales mindset. It's a recruiting mindset, like getting to the no is what they call it. But I call it getting to your next opportunity. And you want to get there as quickly as possible because your time is valuable, and please don't sit around, weeks and weeks and weeks, putting all your eggs in one basket, so to speak, for one role, and be missing out on all the other things that are going on out there. So yeah, get to your no's as quickly as possible. No's not a bad word. No is not the end, because a lot of times no means not right now.
Love that. Get the fastest way, get to the no, because no is your next opportunity. I love that. What a great lasting tip, because no's are, when you're applying for jobs, sometimes that rejection can be really tough to deal with. So
yeah,
absolutely love that. Now tell our subscribers how they can find you.
I can be found everywhere at Trap Recruiter. Oops, sorry. I can be found everywhere at Trap Recruiter. I'm on LinkedIn at Trap Recruiter, because my name is difficult for folks to spell, Keirsten Greggs. So if you just put in Trap Recruiter, I'll come up. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I have a TikTok. I don't know how to use that, so please don't ask me, because I'm a little bit older, and that's for people that need to, that's for other people. That's not for people of my young age. No.
I'm trying to figure out TikTok myself, but no worries, everyone. We will put all of Keirsten's information in the comments, in the description section, so you don't have to go find it. We'll have it for you.
All right. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. One last thing. Every Wednesday at 2:00, I do a live cast, again, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and on Facebook, that has, and you don't have to be on the live, but you can always come back to one of those pages and watch them later. But I do career focused, job search focused, just tidbits with my guests that provide you with information around, finances, mental health. We did something on networking. My little cousin, who is, he's not little anymore, but my younger cousin, who is, gave a phenomenal, 101 on networking, as coming from like an internship through, professional life. Being at different points in your career, whether they be early career, mid-career, later career, returning to work after retirement, negotiating your salary or your total compensation. So come on Wednesdays if you have the time, and look out for one of my lives.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we'll make sure we put your information below for everyone to see. We really appreciate you. And until next time, everyone, we'll see you again.
Thank you.